This is how I beat a $20,000 back charge with a $26,000 change order. I remember one time I was working on a project. I was a superintendent working for a commercial general contractor, and we were working on an interior renovation in the Bacardi building. So the Bacardi company, they own this building in Coral Gables. It's a like 20-something story building, and we were doing a renovation on the 11th, was it the 11th and the 12th floor. Part of it was going to be for Bacardi themselves, and also the other part was going to be a tenant that was moving in. So I remember I was brand new in construction. I didn't know anything. And when I got hired in this company, this was my very first project ever in construction. And the owner of my GC company, he says, go ahead and manage this project. And if you have any questions, call me. And I said, hey, but I don't really know how to manage a project. Like, I'm new to this. So anyways, I had a little bit of experience in managing drywall projects, but never as a superintendent. This was way before I worked at this company. So one day I noticed I became friends. When you're in the job site, you start becoming friends with the people. So I became friends with the drywall subcontractor. His name was Paolo Stughi. And when you're a superintendent at the job, one of your main priorities is that you have to become friends with the owners and the workers, because you're always asking for favors. So I became friends with Paolo, and I remember over the course of, several months that we're on that project, I remember he was really doing a really good job, bringing the right amount of crews, staying late to finish the job for the production purposes. He was coming on Saturdays, even though like we would ask him to come Saturdays and he would do it and he wouldn't charge us anything. I remember my project manager, he was one of those guys that would like rush. So he was like ordering us to hang up drywall, and then the electricians would come behind us and cut up the drywall because they were missing conduit and outlets and things like that. So there was a lot of rework and patching going on. And I used to see Paolo and his crews like patching up the walls. And I said, are you submitting change orders for this? Like, you haven't given me any time and material tickets. So a T&M ticket or a time and material ticket is basically you go and do the work, and usually the superintendent on the project will sign off approving those hours and the materials that you use. So in this case, he hadn't given me any tickets. There was no change orders to sign. And I told him, I go, hey, like, you haven't given me anything, so I'm not approving anything. And he goes, no. He goes, I want to do a good job for you guys because I want to keep doing business with you. And I said, well, that's very admirable, but usually in this line of business, those are called change orders. And he goes, yeah, I know, but I don't want to change order you. I want to establish a good relationship with you and your company. And I go, all right, look, friend to friend. I said, look, take pictures and log everything that you do that's extra, all this overtime, everything you do, like, just in case. You never know if you ever need it. So a couple months passed, they moved me to another project. So I kind of hadn't talked to Paulo for a while. And one day he calls me and he says, I want to rip Marcos Fernandez's head off. I want to kill him. I go, why? What happened? And he goes, no, this guy, he rushes me to put up the drywall. The electricians cut up the drywall. I repatched for free. And now he just hit me with a $20,000 change order. So I actually got really pissed. Like, I was about to call my project manager and raise hell. But my wife says, hey, don't get involved because you don't really know the whole story. And wisdom was like, it's true. So I told him, I go, do you remember when I told you take pictures, log everything that you do extra, and keep a record of it? And I said, use it. You didn't hear that from me. And I hung up the phone. So a couple weeks pass and he calls me all excited and happy. And I go, what happened? Like, give me an update. He says, they gave me a $20,000 change order because since everything was supposed to be a level 5 finish, after they painted the walls, the patches, you were able to see them and it looked really bad. So they actually brought in another company to refinish everything and they repainted it. So they are accusing me. So the painters sent them a change order and they're passing those costs on to me. And I go, okay, so what did you do? And he says, I walked into their office. I remember what you said. I kept pictures of everything. I called Felix and I put together like a case. So literally I went with a stack of change orders and I said, oh, you want to go ahead and charge me $20,000? No problem. Pay my change orders. And I had all the backup like you showed me. So he came up with $26,000 in change orders. And he says that the face of the project manager and the owner, that they turned like pale, like white, like freaking out a little bit. And they're like, oh my gosh, this guy. They ended up canceling the change order. They said, Paulo, let's just cancel the change order and we'll call it even. So I actually helped him save, $20,000 from this back charge, which is funny enough because at that point he starts trying to recruit me for like a year to come join him. And I ended up getting suckered into joining him on his $20 million vision to grow his business, which was one of the best decisions I ever made, because me and him, we really got together to grow a construction business. And everything that I teach in the YouTube videos and everything is a lot from all the experiences we had. But he walked out of there saving $20,000 in change orders, and it was amazing. And that's a lesson that a lot of times the general contractors, they want to bully the subs. You're not a little guy. You have rights. Like, make sure that you track your hours, track your pictures. There's a thing called daily logs. So daily logs are basically where you log all the activities every single day so you can go back and reference it. Take pictures of everything you do every single day or a couple times a week, because you never know if you ever need them on the job. Now, if you're interested and you want to grow your business, I created a roadmap, a step-by-step success path that is going to take you from where you are today to sell your first or your next $1 million in construction. So I know a lot of times, like the smaller contractors, like you know how to build, but nobody's ever really taught you the construction side of things. I put together a free training for you. It's about 20 minutes, so you can check it out. Click the link below, go ahead and watch that video training, and let me help you grow your construction business.